Monsanto, Quaker Oats, Nestle, Kellogg's, Frito-Lay, Unilever. These companies feed the world. Special interest groups such as Greenpeace and the Sierra Club have joined forces with more than a dozen organizations to form the Truth in Labeling Coalition. Their goal? To stop these companies from continuing to improve the food that we eat. An alarmist approach to food labeling is one of their strategies. As one representative of Monsanto stated, if you put a label on genetically engineered food, you might as well put a skull and crossbones on it. Since 1997, 2/3 of all U.S. processed foods were gene-modified, and that number has risen to over 3/4 today. The leading food and crop companies being targeted know very well the threat that these labels pose. Well, I'm here to tell you that what Greenpeace and the others have been hiding from the public is the fact that bioengineered food products are extremely beneficial to the 7 billion people on this planet. Advances in biotechnology and recombinant DNA have been made on many fronts. Scientists have already developed genetically modified food crops that are able to breed disease and herbicide-resistant strains. Effects of this innovation are being felt around the globe. For instance, in China, the introduction of so-called Bt cotton plants that produce a chemical to kill the cotton bollworm have not only limited the incidences of crop-eating pests in the fields, but have also helped to protect neighboring fields as well. A second benefit that genetically modified foods have to offer is nutritional value. GM crops are grown to include vitamins that may be lacking in staple varieties. Genetically modified rice contains high amounts of vitamin A, and now is being spliced with human genes to make proteins that treat infant diarrhea in developing nations. Over 114 countries grow rice as a staple crop, and China and India producing more than half. The effects that this vitamin-rich crop could have in developing and overpopulated countries are astounding. Facts such as these should be marketed to the uneducated public. Instead of fighting a constant defensive battle, trying to prevent these negative-sounding labels, Unilever needs to take the offensive position in both labeling and consumer education. To do this, Unilever should develop an alliance with other multinational food companies being criticized for their use of gene-modifying technology. Funding from this alliance should be put toward a government-approved certification organization to test these GM products. Well, this idea is not completely original, because one already exists. The Food Standards of Australia and New Zealand is an independent agency that evaluates GM foods and puts labels of approval on these products distributed to Australia and New Zealand. A certification organization like the FSANZ should be created to issue positive-sounding labels. Lastly, an initiative to educate consumers should be taken. Marketing strategies should be presented promoting gene-modified foods and what benefits they have to offer. Unilever should stop waiting to crash and burn under the wrath of the skull and crossbones labels and start doing something about it. Thank you.